Hi, I'm Priyanka, the founder of Horenso and the host of this podcast, where I'm exploring purpose driven businesses and how they're impacted by the atypical journeys of their founders. Today, I'm here with Vishal Madlani, the co founder and CEO of Apex Vitals and JV Nutrition. When I first met Vishal, I was immediately in awe of how passionate and knowledgeable he was about the health and wellness industry. But as we got talking, I realized that the best part isn't that he's just building another supplement brand. He's on a mission to bring clean, transparent nutrition and the necessary health knowledge into the hands of everyday people and not just gym goers. As you'll see in this episode, Vishal has spent many years in this space and was taken aback by how many malpractices are rampant in the industry, like labeling defects, which is a little unexpected from brands that we go to for meeting our health needs. So, in this episode, we'll dive into what he's doing to bring about a change in this space and what his journey has been like as a purpose driven entrepreneur through all the ups and downs. Let's get started. Hi, Vishal.
Hey Priyanka,
So excited to be here with you today.
pleasure's all mine.
I'm really excited to get to know more about Apex Vitals and what you're doing and what makes you different and like the purpose you're bringing into this company and how you're going about building that as well.
Okay, so I'll start off just with a teeny meeny introduction about myself. I'm Vishal, CEO and co-founder of Apex Vitals. And Apex Vitals, the tagline of Apex Vitals is empower oneself, right? When I say empower oneself, I mean to say a holistic way of touching people's lives through nutrition, so that they can be their apex self. There's a lot more to come, but at this moment, the narrative is to touch point, as many lives as you can, give them better nutrition. Give them a way through supplementation and make sure that they are their apex self. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, and it's actually very cool how like the name Apex Vitals does play into your mission is a lot as well, because my branding brain thinks about that and it's like, oh, that's so cool. It's so obvious what they're doing.
Oh, it was very interesting. Let me start off. Like when I started, searching a name for the brand, it took me like I think 4.5 months just to come up with a name. And Apex Vitals was one of the names that I had discarded, because it's like Apex Vitals is such a simple name. And then I had I think I scouted around 400 names. I wrote them in a diary. And every single night I used to chalk them out, no, not this one, not this one. And then suddenly I chalked everything out, and then what was remaining was Apex Vitals. And this is the most simplest of them all. If you can uncomplicate, simplify, and put that out in front of people, I think that makes much more sense rather than going like ballistic in terms of, oh, my product is this, I am that, and those all jargons work. I am not saying marketing doesn't work, but it's all about simplicity for us. And
No, I'm really glad this already feels so fun to me because I'm learning so much. But I'm curious to know where you are in Apex Vitals' journey so far right now.
I think in terms of our focal point, like why we are doing Apex Vitals, we bang on there. So let me put it this way. Usually what an entrepreneur does is that they discover themselves en route towards the destination. So I've been in the supplement space since 2016, 17. I have done a lot of brands. I've been a brand developer, but not. I would not per se say in the R&D side, but yes, I have developed brands. I have sold it in B2B. I have sold it in B2C. I am an importer and a distributor. And one of the brands, for namesake, I can't name it right now, but one of the brands that I am doing is in the top 15 for India in terms of B2B market. And that's commendable, right? Nobody got that brand. We got it in the year 2016-17. I remember that time very well. And these many years down the line. But obviously, with Apex, Apex, there's a lot more control because the brands that I was doing in the past were not my brands. I'm just like a distributor for India. Like they have for worldwide, they might have somebody for Australia, Indonesia, Korea. But with Apex, I think we have the edge. And since the narrative is very clear that why we want to do Apex is clear.
Yeah.
I think the roadmap will lay down better for us in terms of what, why, and how. I think those focal points are also very clear in our brains. We're trying to get that out, and time will say, right?
Yeah.
So, let's see.
That's really interesting. And I'm curious to know more about how you got into this industry in the first place and how what you saw is dictating like that need for, I need to start my own brand because I feel like something isn't working here.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So I used to play a lot of sports back in the day, right from my early school days, right? And I continued playing through college. I played state level, and interestingly, I was tall and very skinny. So one of my performance coaches, he said, why don't you go to the gym back in the day? I was like, yeah, sir, I will. Because I used to be a fast bowler. So it's all about, a lot of strength that comes in. I used to like work, do nets, be on the ground for like 8 hours. That takes a toll. Although however young you are, but your body needs to recoup, right? So he said, you need to do strength and conditioning training. And I went to the gym. Once I went to the gym, the second thing that you come to know is that one trainer will come to you and he'll say, boss, you need supplements. And yes, I started consuming supplements and I found a massive edge in my game plan. And I can literally say that I sort of got addicted to the better version of myself. And it was showing in my results. I was playing better, I was feeling better, I was, performing better. But this was what, I think it was in 2005, 6. Then something happened in my family, I had to leave all the sports. My dad passed away at a when I was very young. So I left everything because I got responsibilities at a very early age. But then my dad always said that, Vishal, you need to study. Don't do business. He mentioned that. I'm like, I need to fulfill whatever he has mentioned. And I studied a lot. So I did my graduation, my master's, my MBA. Then I got into CFA, that's Chartered Financial Analyst. I did level 2. And during that level 2, something very interesting happened because I'm somewhat little similar like you, like how you are at the age of 21, trying to explore yourself. So I quit a job. I was working in a bank, and I went to a boutique investment bank, and I started working there for free.
For free?
For free. I had a senior who had passed out from college, and he was working there. Boutique investment bank is like what, like 4 or 5 people? Your office ends there. It's like this, the room that we are sitting in, but massive deals. I remember one of the deals that the company was doing when I had joined was BC for their debt syndication, and interestingly during that same point of time they said that you join in, we will not pay you, we'll pay you stipend. I said, oh, I'm very happy with the stipend. I don't even want stipend, you give me work. So he's like, okay. He's not asking for money. I wanted to work for free. My only condition was that you put me into financial modeling and you start me with research. They saw my work for like a month or 2. They got like very happy, he's putting in those number of hours. It's more hard work. That point of time, they gave me a project for California almonds. I'm talking the year 2013-14. And it was an MR, like market research project. During that project, interestingly, I was going through data about India, about consumption patterns and about health, about nutrition, what is required, what's not required. And I was shocked and famished, like your food pyramid, like it should be like, our food pyramid is completely reverse.
Yeah.
Like carbohydrates is on the top. Like carbs are supposed to be below, but it's on the top. So I'm not explaining much about that. But what I mean to say is that it was completely an eye-opening thing for me. Now I parked that project. Like I did that. I parked it over there. It's there on my back. Me being an athlete, 2006-7 is also subconsciously there. Then I am like 2013. This project came. My last job, that was in 2015, was with BlackRock. Crazy working hours. That point of time, I got tired. Something triggered. It's like, I'm done. I took a sabbatical, left the job, sat back home, started recapping my life. I got that incident of 2006, me being sports person. I got that incident of 2013 where I have seen something regarding or I've researched something regarding health. Bang on 2015 and 16, I started my first venture in health and wellness with a CrossFit gym. Now, being CrossFit also, it was very ahead of time at that point of time because I don't know if people knew
This was
CrossFit.
2015?
15 and 16.
That's very early for CrossFit
Oh yes.
in India.
Gym आ गया again. Me being the trainer for myself. तो gym आ गया तो supplement तो चाहिए.
Yeah.
That's when I started getting into supplementation. It took me 2017 and I started hardcore. 2018 was the first time like we officially imported our first brand. I'm still continuing that brand today.
Now that you got into this whole thing where you're working so intensely on importing all these other brands and everything, you're so into that, things are going well. When does it click for you that you want to start Apex Vitals or you want to start your own brand?
So point one, most of the supplement industry is the mecca is US. It's mostly North America. Like North America is like the Silicon Valley for health and nutrition. And interestingly, the Silicon Valley has the biggest obesity factor.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was one thing. Secondly, I think transactionally, America is always big on it's larger than life. For Apex, the main motive was to also get unique products, innovation. Like I said, ease of use.
Yeah.
And it's going so deep now. The knowledge, has gone deep into a lot of through social media, through a lot of platforms. People are talking about fitness. They are wanting to grow. We're just sticking to basics. So that was one thing that came to my mind. Secondly, obviously, I'm doing a brand which is on which I don't have any control.
Yeah.
I can just distribute the brand. So I wanted a little bit of uniqueness. I wanted a little bit of variety. I wanted a little bit of what do you say, transparency in terms of how I would want to put the product out in, and that clicked to me. I'm like, let's do something, and that's when the thought, like the seed was planted into my mind. Like, I want to do something different, and to do something different, also we started again doing Reiki. I started going back to the scratch board, started understanding what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and we got an answer. So the whole world was going to US for supplementation. We went to Europe. Two reasons. Mainly, I think the purity levels of milk, confectionery items, amino acids is very high. Secondly, from a trade perspective, I think we're right at the center of the world. So if I want to,
Yeah.
get something to the Indian shows, it's for me, it's way quicker. And I think Europe is much more transparent than US. Sorry to say, but that's the reality check, because we've gone there, we personally seen that, and I think we have a way through.
That makes sense. And I think we were talking about how when you were working in the industry, you saw that there was lack of transparency on things that were really important, and that people go to these brands to improve their health and wellness, and it's almost like they're getting the shorter end of the deal because of the ingredients these products are using, and we just don't know it as consumers, or the ingredients that they're using and how they're processing it. So do you just want to touch up a little bit on that and how that motivated you?
Uh, so let me try and put this in phase one and phase two. See, phase one was like before 2015, everything was coming into imports, right? Um, Interestingly, India being the biggest milk producer could not develop its own whey protein because I'm not just saying whey protein. I think the quality of the product that was produced over here was not meant for human feed, like for human consumption in terms of athletic performance. So that was absent. So everything was coming from abroad. 2018 onwards, there is this change where I'm seeing that's phase two, where I'm seeing Make in India as a concept coming in. I truly adore Make in India, and I don't think so. There is a problem with Make in India. Um, there could be more stricter governance in terms of food grade products. Um, so with Make in India, growing, a lot of these brands started shifting to manufacturing in India. Now they say manufacturing, but it's eventually bottling in India because, like I said in phase one, since India cannot produce the raw material output, everything is still getting imported.
Yeah.
So the raw material is coming from outside. Now, let me say about 2022-23. What's happening right now is India being a price sensitive market, so everything is about price. Um, Raw material is imported, so it's still going to be expensive. Where you can cut corners is by depleting quality, right? Uh, I won't want to speak much about it, but I can say that yes, it can be way better. It can be, and if there is a stricter governance, it will help grow the industry. It's a little scary feeling when a person like me sees that what's going on in the market. There is no adherence to quality checks, standards. We felt that we could make a change. We could come out with cleaner products, better products, have a vision which is more pure, and let the customer decide. Yeah, where we will try and narrate our story in front of them and let them decide what they want to eat for their body and what not. And if we are able to sell to the customer in terms of results and quality and purity, I think we hit the nail. What else do you want? Then it's not, like I said, it's not difficult. It's supposed to be easy.
Exactly. And I agree with that because when I work with a lot of these purpose driven brands for their marketing and their branding, the only thing we keep coming back to is the story and the narrative and just highlighting that because it comes from such a pure place. And then it's like, okay, now let the customer decide. The only thing you can do is educate the customer and create a good product.
True.
And in that process, you might have to put more effort into things that other brands are cutting corners in. And when the industry is growing so fast in India, like we were just talking before this episode, how Amul is coming up with supplements and everything.
Oh yes.
So when the industry is moving so fast, what kind of keeps you from cutting corners? Do you ever feel like you're not good enough or you're not moving quickly enough?
See, entrepreneurship as a journey, Priyanka, in itself is a mammoth task. Um, if I would want to put it from here rather than from here, I'm ready to take the fall. So we need to understand this. When you are so hell bent on your story, on giving like the pillars on what you're standing. If you're saying your pillar is innovation, yes, check. If your pillar is care, check. If your pillar is concern, check. Purity, check. And you still have that inner feeling that whatever happens, I'm ready to take the fall. Then that fear is out now. There's no need to cut corners here. It's just that the road is a little longer, which is supposed to be, right. Do you want it to be a brand who's just done valuation game for 5 years, 6 years and then like out? The legacy that if you want to create is if you're wanting to create that legacy, the route will always be longer. So I am not wanting to say that going slow is the only way out. No, today it's 2023. Everything is very fast. But you don't need to cut corners in terms of your narrative, na? Which is on the pillars, on what you've been standing. If I'm not happy, then what am I doing business for?
Exactly.
What am I doing work for?
Yeah.
It's again a 9 to 5 for me. So as an entrepreneur, my willingness to fall and to openly say that it's okay, but I will still keep on doing this, then success will come for sure. And it's not about success; it's about touching more lives.
It kind of reminds me of how you have a longer journey or you have to do things differently because you're not just building another supplement brand. That isn't the end goal. The end goal here is to educate people, create awareness, and get good, clean nutrition in their hands. And I think that's a very commendable thing and something I'm always inspired by from like passionate entrepreneurs like yourself when this is something that you're doing. And the other thing that I find really inspiring and fascinating is your outlook on competitors and how you see them as not competitors but almost like colleagues. You're like, they're helping my mission. Amul is helping my mission.
I won't say that's the truth for every industry, but for at least this industry, I would say kudos, cheers, as many players there are, market will expand. Because it's science backed. It's about innovation. Well, so Apex is all about holistic living. As time passes, we will come up with more better, knowledge oriented, science driven innovation products, but we'll try and keep it as simple for the client because everybody does not want to dig deep, right? They want to just understand that the product is going to help me do this. So I would say we are different because we are more like a purpose driven brand.
Yeah.
Or a cause related brand. And I think that's where we differentiate ourselves.
I think that's very true. And there's a lot of research that shows that it relates to what you said about customers hearing your story and relating to it and then choosing you. That when you do lead from that place of purpose, when you do come from a very authentic, transparent place, it's almost like you're not targeting a market. You're working along with your customers. And I think at some level, people recognize that. The research kind of points to about, I think it's like around 70% increase in customer loyalty as well for brands that lead with purpose.
Absolutely. See, the research, since me being the person that I am, the research analyst, we've gone through a lot of reports. We've come across a lot of interesting facts and figures post-COVID. I see a transitional change in terms of how people are thinking about their lives.
We spoke a bit about how you were working at these boutique investment firms and you were so into like a job. What was the mental battle like to take that leap of faith into entrepreneurship? Or what was the journey like for you?
See, I left my job when I was like a 26, 27-year-old guy. Um, that point of time, it's pure, um, aggression. I want to do something for myself, and let's do it. Also, I think the Gujju genes, they help you with that aggression part of it. And I thought that, I want to do something better. I want to try and reach somewhere. I did not know how I was supposed to do it. Like I said, I took a sabbatical and then I started recapping over my life. But even at that point of time, I used to work like 14 to 15 hours in a day. And it was interesting. You're in a bubble, right? You when you go out, everyone's so in line with how you have to go or progress throughout your day. So there have been instances where I was not let down, but I thought I could progress, but I was not allowed to progress. Because like I said, it goes through that line. And there was this one day when I felt that, now I'm done.
Yeah.
This very famous quote of Morgan Freeman, you be the master of your soul. There was a movie called Invictus, in that he had used this quote, and I wanted to do that for myself. That leap of faith, it's scary.
Yeah.
But to a young entrepreneur today, I would say, don't get scared. If you think you want to take that leap of faith, do it. क्या होगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा? If you might succeed, you might not succeed. But again, that willingness to fall. If you are okay, you can get back a job now.
What you said about like you're going in a particular line and everyone around you is going there, but you're like seeing things differently and you want to do something differently, and very often it's not supported. And I think like when you're doing something different, there's no path laid out for you. There's no guidebook to follow. And because I'm still so young and early on in my journey, I want to ask you that if you could go back to 21-year-old Vishal and give him any advice for his path so far.
I would want to be the Priyanka then. I think every person is having an arty and a creative side to him or her. It's just that they don't want to touch base with that side. And everyone's scared of falling down, exploring, leaving their comfort area. It's okay. Not everyone can be the top 1% also. And it's not possibly that we are also going to be there. It's okay. But the process to explore, to figure out what better in life than having an opportunity to explore yourself. I'm sitting with you on a working day, noon, doing a podcast, giving me the immense pleasure of trying to be more vocal about myself, if it makes sense to somebody who's listening. I don't think so. We're trying to do touch point on how many views we are going to do or how many people. But if somebody can hear what we are saying and if somebody can get connected, your patch is done, right?
Yeah.
And you figured out. So I think everyone should take that leap of faith and leave it to the process. And in the process, you will fall. Don't be scared. It's okay to fall. Get back up, na? You're having a home, you have family. What else do you want? So you can always go back to that, na?
Yeah.
But people get scared. I think just be yourself. That in its own essence is so simple. Knowledge is something that you should gain. Experience is something that you should. I think experience is much bigger than academic experience. The actual experience of being there in the battlefield. I think that counts more.
It was so fun talking to you today and talking about all the different aspects of your business and your journey as an entrepreneur. I'm so grateful for you for like coming on here and like for making this happen. Thank you so much.
No, it's I'm glad.